Hey, I think I'm back again. We'll just give it a few moments for people to rejoin me. This is Cherie, psychotherapist, counsellor, psychologist, coming to you direct joy with a few technical hiccups. Now the dog wants my attention. What's going on today? So, let's get back to it. What is going on? A third of us affected by sleeplessness. It's difficult to sleep. We lie awake. We wake up early. We can't nap. We're irritable. We're tired. It affects our mood. It affects our relationship. It affects our sleep. Everything is impacted. Hello, Sapphire. And we find that we are in this place. The dog's joined us. We're in this place where we are tired all the time. We need certain things to look after us. We need certain things that maybe aren't good sleep routines, maybe aren't good habits. They're not the things that we expect. We need the telly on or the radio on. We need maybe even a caffeinated drink, maybe a sugary goodness, things that we think are going to help us sleep, but actually then do they really help our sleep? And do they really help our irritability the next day? Do they really help with skin flare-ups? Do they really help with the knock-on effects? Because when we don't sleep, there are huge knock-on effects. Sapphire, it's lovely for you to join us. Down you get. Good go. There are huge knock-on effects. The joys of working from home, hey? And what is it like for you if you don't sleep? With a third of people not sleeping in the UK reported at one time, there must be something going on with this. There must be some underlying reason. So from a psychological point of view, what is happening? So stress, that thing about, okay, there's one thing playing on my mind, or there's something I'm worried about, or maybe there is multiple things playing on our mind. Thanks for the likes and the loves. What is happening? What are we anxious about? Maybe there's not one thing we can identify. Maybe when we're laying there in the middle of the night going, but what am I actually thinking about? What am I actually worried about? What is actually happening? What anxiety are we then getting into the pattern of and the habit of? What style and alignment of person are we if we're that irritable, if we're going to bed that late or we're going to bed that early? What is it that is out of sync? Because when there's something out of sync, that's then when the symptoms such as sleeplessness start showing up. And, you know, sometimes it can be about a deep grief of who we are, of what we've lost, be it people, be it certain things in our lives, be it animals, be it journeys that, you know, we have an expectation of. Someone said to me the other day about grief, the fact that it sometimes is not about what you've lost, but what you thought you were going to get that didn't come. Those broken promises, those vows of the future that you expect, and taking time to grieve them. And I think in the still of the night, we have those opportunities. Don't we? We have opportunities to dream about about what may come, but we also have that opportunity in the silence, even with people around us asleep. We have that opportunity to grieve what once was, or what we expected, and it gives us that silent time. Teenagers love to actually induce sleeplessness, and that's not induced with certain substances. That's induced by the fact that, you know, they just stay awake. And what's going on there, you know, as parents and as adults, we're like, what? But actually, for a young person, that's the most natural thing to do, you know, to be nocturnal. Their hormones actually induce that. Like, you know, I wish my parents had known that when I was a kid. Like, actually, that's a thing. Like, my hormones need that for me to grow and develop, not to be woken up at 9 o'clock in the morning with the duvet pulled off. What is it like to actually have hormones that are saying to you, knock, knock, it's time to be awake, and it's time to do that processing, and actually taking that opportunity in sleeplessness to kind of turn it on its head and say, well, what opportunity is this? Because there is a lot of grief and there is a lot of pain when we can't sleep, both physically, mentally and emotionally. And yeah, there are things that we can do to to shift this around. There are things like reducing screen time, not sleeping with electronics on in the room, including your phone, which I'm sure you hasten to really not want to hear. Exercising, but not too much before bed, taking a nice bath or a shower, the kind of food that you're eating, the caffeine intake, and that includes Coca-Cola, Iron Brew, Dr. Pepper, name dropping. Should I be doing that live? Because, when we're stressed out, and when I talk about stress, I mean emotionally, mentally, and physically, there are different stresses that have different impacts on nerves in our system. For example, the vagus nerve, I'm sure you've heard lots about, and that's, there's a growing awareness of the vagus nerve and the impact that has on our emotional life, both from physically what we put in and what we're exposed to in relationships. And then also the serotonin levels, the lack of endorphin levels, and the cortisol that buzzes around. All of these things, we are finding out more and more about the... when I say finding out more and more, I mean with modern technology, and I mean with an understanding of an ancient wisdom from the earth as well. And, I'm very much an advocate of that. And if you work with me, you definitely sign up for that. So what's it like to think about those things with regards to sleeplessness? When I was doing some research for today, I came up with the best, and it really made me chuckle. My neighbours must have been like, what's she laughing at? Because there was this thing about the fact of have blackout curtains, and my experience both professionally and personally is that open your curtains, let the moon do its work, and let the moon shine through the window, let the darkness prevail when the darkness needs to prevail, and when the sun needs to come up and it's time to wake up. And if that means that it's 4:30 in the morning because the harvest is ready, what's that like for your body? Personally, I am so out of tune with that at the moment, and opening my curtains is certainly a practice that I need to get much more in touch with, as well as drinking more water. And those things alone make such an impact on our body and our mind and our emotions, and reduce the stress. They reduce the cortisol surging through our bodies when things don't happen, when life happens. And what's that like? What's it like to actually say, there's some stuff going on at the moment, and I need to make a note of this, and I maybe need to make a plan, and I need to get that stuff in order, and I need to think about budgeting, and I need to think about planning, and I need to think about what really makes me happy, and what is it like when I swing my legs out of the bed in the morning and I have a happy tune, and what is getting in the way of that? Because actually fundamentally as human beings we are happy. So what's it like to embrace that and to say, okay, I want to move to a place where I'm not procrastinating, but I'm making decisions based on my intuition, based on my experience, based on my knowledge of the world, and I'm making them. What's it like to do that? And that's the kind of work that I love to do. What is really happening and showing up in your life? And sleeplessness is a massive symptom of that. When you're raging with night terrors or sleep disorders of any kind, from whatever age, there is something out of alignment. There is something you are hungry for. There is something very primitive and newborn where you're saying, hey, it's time to wake up. It's time to acknowledge this. I'm miserable. I'm depressed. I'm in a habit of this being a normal thing, and I need to feed my face, feed my belly, feed my mind with other stuff, and actually turning that on its head and saying, okay, I'm going to welcome the calm. I'm going to welcome the place of grieving and sadness and anger, where actually sometimes it's pretty tough. And I'm going to welcome that, and I'm going to think about, okay, well, what is toxic in my life? And really make some time in the day for that. Enjoying over the summer, you definitely need to make that space for a walk. What is it like to really offer yourself the opportunity to explore, be it on paper, be it with art, be it just in your mind and in your prayer and meditation? Because saying no to what's coming in, is really important, to put that boundary up, to say, actually, no, I need space and I need exploration and I need a piece of this cake that is life, which gives us the opportunity then to go, oh, okay, what am I getting enough rest, like real rest? Am I, taking time to really rest my soul and my body? Or am I too busy having fun? Or am I too busy working and building? Sometimes we can spend a lot of time building our dreams, but a third of the people in the UK are suffering from sleepless nights. Moving away from pain is really what I love to do, to help you. So to acknowledge that it's there, to acknowledge those symptoms and to move beyond them. Direct Joy is part of that offering because, there is definitely not enough free mental health and emotional well-being advice out there. There's definitely not enough space to explore that. And I'm loving that all of you are loving these lives and replays. And the more that we can do that, the better it gets, as one of my friends says. Let's just keep working on getting the best versions of ourselves. And if I can join you on that journey, please do get in contact. You can do that on Instagram, Facebook, via my website, cjoy.co.uk, and just plain old text message or phone call or email works. So any which way, I don't mind. Let's get this work done and let's live a more peaceful, happy, faithful and more understanding of each other and definitely of ourselves. Okay, so that's all from me today. I look forward to seeing you next week for Direct Joy. If anyone has any questions, buzz them through and we'll get them on the topic list. And in the meantime, have a great Tuesday and I look forward to seeing you all again next week, Tuesday at 12 p.m. Facebook Live. Cheerio.